John Fuentes of LowKickMMA here, and I'm joined by UFC featherweight Jason Knight. Jason, how are you doing, man?
Just got, I guess, social media, they put it out today that it's going to happen. So now, I'm just hoping that my contract's at the gym when I get there tonight. So go ahead and get this thing signed and get ready to go to war.
Yeah, man, congrats on that fight. How did it come about? Did the UFC contact you for that one, or did you get in touch with them and volunteer to step in? How did that all work out?
My coach, he acts as my manager, Alan Belcher, and as soon as I heard about the fight, I commented other possibilities that we were looking at already. And once I heard about the Ricardo Lamas fight, I was like, "Hey man, tell them if they want, I'll step in for that fight." And my coach, he was kind of hesitant. He was like, "Look," he told me, "Look, we got a couple of other options that might be." And I told him, I want to go for the best. I want to give it as as I can. And I told him, if they do offer me another fight, I'm not going to, turn it down. I like whoever. But, if they give me the opportunity to fight Ricardo Lamas, I want that fight. And my coach was like, okay, well, if that's what you want, then we'll make it happen. I'll up Sean Shelby now and see if we can't get it to happen. And then the very next day, he sent me a text message. He's like, hey, man, the Ricardo Lamas fight is confirmed. So I was like, well, hell yeah, that was yesterday, so I wasn't able to say anything about it in social media because, I didn't know for sure. I haven't got a contract, so I wasn't 100% certain. Well, the next thing, today I get looking at my phone, go on Twitter and everything, and everybody's releasing that the fight's going to happen. So I'm hoping that, whenever I get there this afternoon, the contract's sitting at the gym waiting on me.
You mentioned you had some other options. Did you know what other fighters they were offering you at that time?
I know that my coach, he was looking at Miles Jury for possibly August, Mirsad Bektic, but Mirsad Bektic, I think he turned the fight down. And we were thinking about trying to get Jeremy Stephens because he wasn't booked and, nobody else. He wasn't lined up to fight, and there wasn't really a whole lot of other fighters in that top 15 that weren't already booked. So, Jeremy Stephens looked like a good option, and so did Miles Jury. But I think Miles Jury, he's not in the top 15, so I honestly think that, of course, he's going to be a tough fight for anybody. It's going to be a hard fight. But why would you take a hard fight and not go forward? And I told him, Miles Jury's the last one as I can. And, the Ricardo Lamas fight, it just made sense to me because, yeah, of course, he's tough. It's going to be a hard fight. It's going to be a tough one to win. But, if I lose, I don't really go too far. The number 4 guy right now. But then I skyrocket. I go way better. And, if I beat him and then beat a couple more, then I'm in title contention. I've got a shot at the title. So that just made the most sense to me, and that's the one I wanted the most.
Yeah, and Lamas has won 2 of his last 4 fights. His last loss was to Max Holloway, who's now the undisputed UFC featherweight champion of the world. His last win was over Charles Oliveira, and that was a lightweight fight in November. What are your thoughts on Lamas's past couple performances inside the octagon?
Man, he's always tough. He always looks tough and looks like he's hard to beat. He always comes ready, and he's going to be a game opponent. But I don't care who he's beat before. It doesn't really matter to me who his last win was or the win before that, whatever. Or who he's lost to. Even none of that matters to me. All that matters is I'm going to be standing across the cage from this guy on July 29th. I'm going to be prepared. I'm going to be in shape. And, I'm going to sharpen all my skills as sharp as I can get them. And I'm going to go out there and give him a fight that he's never seen before in his life. I'm not like the rest of these guys. In my eyes, are going to be his toughest test. He's not, of course, he's been beat before, but I don't think he's seen somebody with the hunger that I have because I don't believe that anybody in the UFC wants this as bad as I do. And, I know that's saying a lot because I know these guys, they work their ass off and they want it just like I do. But I just can't see anybody that wants it more than me, and anybody that's gonna be more hungry for this than I am. So I'm gonna go out here and I'm gonna give this guy every damn thing I got, and give it all I have to make sure I get my hand raised.
You touched on your toughness and determination, but what other advantages do you think you have over Lamas heading into the fight?
I think that I'll be a better, on the ground. I think I have the advantage there, and I know he's probably going to be a little stronger than I am. Might hit a little harder than I do, but I've got the length advantage. I'm going to be taller than he is. I should be able to, if not win the stand up, at least be able to keep him on the outside, and keep my range well, and I'm going to come forward. I don't know if he's used to guys or if he's ready for guys that's going to come forward, but I know that, everybody I fought so far, the forward pressure they're used to is not the same forward pressure I'm coming with. And, I'm good at breaking guys. I'm good at getting in there and making it a hard fight on guys. And also another advantage I have, I'm not going to underestimate him one bit. He's going to underestimate me because, I haven't been in the UFC that long. And he's going to look at me like, who is this guy? I'm fighting a nobody. And, that's what he's going to think. He's going to think it's going to be an easy night. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to surprise the hell out of him. And, that's just the way I see it. And, he's going to think that it's just going to be, all flowers and dandelions and shit, and it's going to be an easy day for him. But I got another thing coming for him. I'm going to get in there. My heart, I belong in that top 5.
Right now, you're on a 4-fight win streak. You finished your last 2 fights. What's it been like to get your first finishes in the UFC back-to-back, 1 submission, 1 knockout?
Man, it was awesome. I've fought hard each fight. All 5 fights that I've had, and the first 3 went to decision. One of them didn't go my way, but decision's always iffy. No matter how good you do in the fight, I've seen guys dominate the fight and then the judges rob them. So it's a shitty feeling. Standing there waiting to see who's gonna get their hand raised, even though I know that I've done good in the fight. I don't know what those judges seen from the outside looking in. I don't know the way that they think, the way that they score things. So, get for a finish. That's so much better of a feeling because you don't have to sit there and wonder what the judges thought or wonder what the judges added up on their scorecards or whatever. That hey, I just choked this guy out. I'm getting my hand raised, and or I just TKO'd this guy. I'm finna get my hand raised. You're already celebrating long before you stand there and wait to hear what those judges had to say. And it's just a good ass feeling. And also, it's really cool just knowing that I've got 2 back-to-back finishes, and now it's like once you get the finish, you're in the running for the fight of the night or performance of the night, something like that. And then both times I got the finish, all we're doing is sitting around waiting for that post-fight press conference to see if I got that bonus. And then, everybody's waiting on that announcement that I got the bonus. And both times I got it. And, that was a hell of a celebration afterwards. We're all sitting around with Patron shots waiting to take them. And as soon as the announcer got that bonus, everybody turns up,
What did you do with your bonus money, if you don't mind me asking?
It still hasn't come in, man. It takes about 7 weeks for it to come in, but as far as my regular fight pay, I have paid most of my house off. I owe another $10,000 and my house will be completely paid off. Bought me a four-wheeler, bought me a side-by-side, I bought me a new truck, bought my old lady a new car. We didn't go out and buy nothing brand new, but we bought stuff that's nicer than what we have. And I'm living my life better than I've ever lived it before, and I love it.
That's great, man. And then with a potential win over Lamas, who's currently the number 3 ranked featherweight in the UFC, where do you think that puts you in the title picture?
I'm not real sure about the title picture. I don't really care about that. I know that it's gonna probably take at least a few more wins, but I know that it's putting me right there with the rest of them. And I think that if I beat Ricardo Lamas, if Frankie Edgar hasn't already fought Max Holloway, then I think I'll either get Frankie Edgar next or I'll get Cub Swanson next. And either one of those fights would be awesome because it's just going to be an action-packed fight. I know that they're going to bring it. I'm going to bring it, and I think I can compete with either one of them. And, either way, it's going to be fireworks.
This past weekend, I'm sure you got a chance to see Max Holloway defeated Jose Aldo in his own home country of Brazil and unified the UFC featherweight titles, and he is now the undisputed UFC featherweight champion. First off, what were your thoughts on that fight, and what advantages do you see yourself having over the new champion in Holloway?
Man, they both look incredible. Their stand up looked amazing. They look really crisp. Look like they've both been working really hard. And I see both of them with they're not easy to knock out, but they can be knocked out. You've seen Max Holloway get rocked in the first, and you've seen Jose Aldo did get finished. So either one of the guys, they can be knocked out on the feet. I believe that as far as Max Holloway goes, I believe I got a tougher chin than he does. And, I think his stand-up's probably a little better than mine. I'm not gonna take anything away from the guy, but I think that his stand-up's a little better than mine. But I believe that I can probably get that fight to the ground. And if I get the fight to the ground, I believe I'm going to be better on the ground than Max Holloway is.
When you do fight Lamas, you will be on a UFC 214 pay-per-view card, which, to my knowledge, will be your first main card appearance on a pay-per-view. And you're going to be on the same card as John Jones versus DC. Cyborg is still advertised to fight on that card as well. She doesn't have an opponent yet, but she's expected to main event. You also have underneath you Doo-Ho Choi fighting, who you've called out before. What does it feel like to be on possibly what could end up being the biggest fight card of the year?
Yeah, man, it's pretty awesome. I'm excited about it, and it's my first pay-per-view event. I don't know for sure if fighters get like a cut of the pay-per-view or not. I'm still clueless about that, but that would be awesome, if I made more money just because I'm on a pay-per-view. But, it's pretty awesome. I know that as far as every event goes, like the way I used to watch them back in the day, I don't really hardly watch fights anymore. But back in the day, whenever I was just a real big fan, I would always watch mainly the pay-per-view. I didn't really care about the prelims. So I know that all around the world, fight fans are going to be watching this fight, and the ones who haven't seen me before because I wasn't on the main card, they're going to see me now, and they're going to know, win or lose, that Jason Knight's the real deal. So, it's a pretty big accomplishment for me. This is kind of something I've always dreamed about. You get into the UFC, that's one dream you've accomplished. You get your first UFC win, that's another dream accomplished. And then, fight on the main card. I did that. I was on a main card, but it was on Fox. But fight on a pay-per-view main card, that's a whole new ball game. It's a whole new accomplishment. And, I'm looking forward to slowly but surely living out one dream and then dreaming a new dream. And that's what I'm going to do this whole career. As soon as I master one thing, get it taken care of, then it's on to the next. And my ultimate goal, of course, you want to get the belt, but my ultimate goal is before this career is over, I want to go down, in the UFC Hall of Fame. I want to be known as one of the greatest fighters ever, and I'm going to work my ass off until I make that happen.
And last but certainly not least, do you have a prediction for this fight, and do you have a message for Lamas before you guys step into the octagon that you'd like to share?
I predict, as of right now, I believe it's probably going to be one of two things. It's either going to be a 3-round war, because I don't think he can finish me. I think it's going to be a 3-round war where we both get fight of the night, or I'm gonna get him to the ground and I'm gonna submit him, because he's not gonna submit me. I put money on that, and I don't think he can knock me out either. So Ricardo Lamas, don't underestimate me. I'm not a chump, and just because I'm not in that top 5 doesn't mean that you don't have to be worried about me. So get your ass in the gym, get ready for the fight. I'll be ready for the fight, and let's go out here and make some fireworks happen.